Welcome to the second part of my tutorial on how to solve a Rubik's Cube. In the first video, I taught you how to solve the cross of the first layer. I started with the corners, but I didn't get a chance to finish because the video cut off toward the end. So, at the beginning of this video, I'm going to show you how to finish off the first layer by putting the last three corners in. If you know the first layer already and want to skip to the second layer, I have a comment box on the screen to show you what time to skip to start off on that second layer. So, I'm going to go ahead and start by showing you the corners. We left off here with one corner on the top face with the white sticker, but it's not facing up. If it was facing up, it would still be in the wrong position. So, if you have that happen and it's in the right position, let's just pretend it is. Let's say it's a blue, orange, white instead of a green, orange, white. You would turn it down so that the white sticker is on the bottom layer. Since it's on the bottom layer, we can now move it out of the way of this face because we're going to be turning it up to the top to match back up with the white cross so that we don't mess up our double center edge pair. So now that it's on the bottom layer, I can move it to where it's underneath two centers like I showed you before. And since it's on the right, you turn it to the right, move the left face down, connect it to that color, the two whites and the two oranges, and then just move it back up to the top face. We have two corners now. It doesn't matter what order you put the corners in. So you see that we have a white sticker that's on the bottom face. That's not what we want, but it is in the right position because it's between the red and the green centers. So what we're going to do is move the face with the white sticker to where the white sticker is on the bottom face. We make sure that the slot that we move down, this slot right here where it needs to go, is on the bottom layer, because when we move the bottom layer to get it out of the way of this, it won't mess anything up. It's just luck that we got this white, blue, orange piece, but we don't want that one there because it doesn't go with the red. The piece next to it should be red. But that doesn't matter because we're just about to replace that with the piece that's correct. So just turn it back up to the top face. This corner is not in the right place, so what we're going to do is put the corner that does go there, the green, red, and white piece, between the red and green centers. So since it's on the right, turn it to the right, move the left face down, connect the white and greens, and then move it back up to the top. By doing that, we've moved the piece that I put there on accident in the spot, out of the spot, and put the one that's correct in there. So now that we have done that, I can look at this piece and figure out what I need to do with it then. We have three corners on the top, and all we need to do is put one more in. So what we're going to do is find that piece. Since it's on the bottom layer, we can move it between the two centers it goes to it, the blue and the orange. Since it's on the left, you turn it to the left, move the right face down, connect it with the orange and white, and move it back up to the top. Congratulations, you've solved the first layer of the Rubik's Cube. You have to have the centers correct as well. You might end up, for some reason, having it like this, but all you need to do then is turn it. But if you don't have it to where all you need to do is do this, it'll be very wrong, and you're going to need to go back a few steps at some point and fix that. So this is how it should look like. On to the second layer. The first thing you'll need to do before solving the second layer of the cube is to flip it over to the yellow side. This orientation will be the orientation that you'll solve with the algorithms from now on until you're finished with the cube. I'd like to go over the notation for the first video briefly. There's one point that I'd like to make. It's that when I explain an algorithm, when I say it, instead of saying apostrophe or inverted, I will just simply say I, because I is only one syllable and inverted is three. So if you get confused on that, I hope that clears it up. So, the goal of the cube, the second layer, is to get it from this state and solve it into this position to where all of the first two layers are solved. So to do that, you'll notice that you only have four edges that you'll need to put in the position. And to do that, you first look on the top layer for any edge piece that does not have yellow on it. There are two that have yellow on it, this orange yellow and this green yellow. So pick one of them that doesn't and match up the sticker that's facing you and match it up with the center. Once you match it up with the center, you'll either turn it You'll either start one algorithm by figuring out if the top color is on the left or the right. But in this case, mine is orange and it's on the left. So I'll perform this algorithm. UI, LI, U, L, U, F, UI, F, inverted. There, we've taken the piece that was orange and blue and taken out the piece that was in there and put it in the right place. So that was if the color on top matched the color on the left. If the color on top matches the color on the right, then you'll do a separate algorithm that's very similar to the one I just showed you. The second layer only consists of two algorithms that you'll need to learn, and they're just the opposite of each other. So at this point, we found another piece on the top layer that has two colors that aren't yellow. And from this point, we'll do an algorithm that is the opposite of what I just showed you. So the opposite of what I just showed you, or the inverse of what I just showed you, in using R instead of L, because we're putting it on the right side instead of the left side, is putting this here. U, R, UI, RI, UI, FI, U, F. And by doing that, we've put another edge piece into the correct position. Green, green, orange, orange, and then the first one is green, green, blue, blue. You might get it when you solve it, the first layer, you might get a couple that are already there. That's good luck. So you're going to do the same thing that you did before. Find an edge piece on the top that does not have yellow and do the same exact thing. A trick to learning the two algorithms is just to learn one. I would learn the left version first, because the first two are inverted and the last two are inverted. There are 8 in the algorithm. It's UL, UL, and then UF, UF. That's not too hard to remember. But when you get to the second one, it's UR, UR, UF, UF. And the L's switch with the R's. So that's a good way to remember it. And in the second one, the inverted switch places too. So instead of the first two and the last two in the left version being inverted, the middle 4 are inverted. So that's an easy way, or a trick to remember how to solve it. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the 2 on the top off, and then I'll show you another case that you might run into. If you weren't as lucky as I was in solving the second layer completely without having any other interruptions, then you have 2 cases to look out for. I'm about to explain to you the 2 cases that you might run into. The first case is when you have all 3 edges in the right positions, in the right place, except for one of them is flipped. That can be annoying. You might think, how could I do that? Because all of the edges on the top face are already yellow, and you know not to look for yellow ones. So what you do is choose any random yellow and just do the algorithm and put it into the position where it just was. And by doing that, you've put the edge that was just in its position onto the top layer. Once you've done that, you know that since the green is on the left and orange is orange, you do this algorithm. To solve it, the left one. The second case you might run into is where you have 2 that aren't in the right place and flipped like I just showed you in the last one, but they need to trade places. So you're going to need to do just about the same thing that I showed you with the last case by putting in one of the random yellow edges on the top into the position of any one of the 2 that are not in the right place. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I took out the blue-red and put in a yellow-orange. Since one is now on the top face, I can turn it to where it matches up, blue and red. Since it's on the right, I'm going to perform the algorithm. And by putting the one that I took out before, putting it on the top and putting it back into the place it was, I've then taken a piece that was yellow, or the piece that belonged right here, out of the position and moved it to the last, or the top layer. And you just do the algorithm for that. And the second layer will become solved.